Hey everybody, we're back. Roleplay Blades,
Be back.
Hour 3. Myth is jumping down to fight some foghounds. And let's just double check here. So the foghounds, their kind of specialty is going out into the Deathlands and dealing with ghosts and magical stuff, which Myth definitely counts as one of those. So I'm going to jump down in the PDF here and remind myself of the foghounds tier.
And now we're tier 1.
You are now tier 1 indeed, and I think it's going to matter because they are also tier 1. So you're on equal footing with them in terms of quality. So you got a 5, right?
Yep.
Would you say, Rune? Would you say that, like when you tell like command Myth, like get them, is your intention to would Myth fight more offensively and aggressively and take a hit as a ghost dog, like because it can't really die, like would it kind of trade licks with somebody to follow your commands, or would it, if it was in danger, would it take it, be a little more cautious and not go all the way? Like what's your, it kind of follows Rune's subconscious mind here. Are you like super aggressive? Or are you like, be careful, Myth, don't risk yourself too much?
I would say more on the side of aggressive because he can't like die.
Yeah, he can be like dissipated, but can't actually like.
Right, because I can just like go and do the ritual again, and he just comes back. So, yeah.
So you'd be willing to have Myth just go for the throat and take a hit in exchange for. Okay. Yeah. Then that's what happens. Myth like leaps on one of them. We've seen this before, and just starts snarling and clawing and biting at the guy. And he's got his gun reloaded. And he discharges it like right at close range, and it has this muffled effect inside the smoke of Myth's body. The shot, like you can only sort of hear it, and some of the smoke and fire of Myth's body like rips sideways and flares. And the people around here, that the gunshots have happened, Careless's sword swipe has happened, and now this shot has happened, and that in those like 3 or 4 seconds, people are starting to notice, and they look around, and Careless, you see there's like a blue coat like just down the street who's like looking in that direction, has his whistle, is like walking forward, like what is going on? Why is there shooting? But Myth just like gets this dude. He doesn't instantly kill the guy, but he's on him and he does a lot of harm. And the guy's lost the hold of his gun. He's getting his knife out. He's bleeding. He and Myth are like rolling around the tarp. And you take cover. The second guy finishes loading his gun, draws a bead on Careless. What are you doing, Careless? He's gonna fire.
Yeah, I see the situation unfolding, like the blue coat starting to approach. Careless's mind is these are the people that we need dispatched anyway, so he's gonna do it quick. So he was walking towards them like a Terminator walk, but now it breaks into a T-1000 stomp.
Are you jumping down onto the boat?
Oh, is it down below us?
Yeah, the other guy's on the boat. Like you guys are on the bridge. The boat is underneath.
Yeah, I'll jump down on it.
Okay. And you're attacking with your sword.
Oh, so it roll skirmish? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
He's gonna try.
Let the dice do it.
It's gonna be desperate because he has a gun, you have a sword, and he's gonna like have a shot at you as you close. But
it's a crit, John.
Oh shit!
I know. I was like waiting for him to notice that he didn't have to think of stuff.
Oh,
I just knew that it was going to come out anyway at this point. Like,
why do
the
I
luck
even,
is on your side.
I just need to stop talking.
Can I dispatch both of them with a crit?
The one's already pretty injured, right?
Yeah.
Ghost dog on top of him.
Well, yeah, because you once again your tier. It actually does matter, because you're doing great. It's not reduced because you're equal tier. Crit bumps it up by 1.
My brutal bumps it up by 1 as well.
Oh yeah, and your brutal bumps it up by 1. Yeah. You definitely can. Yeah, you can take them both out.
Okay. I think he breaks into his sprint, jumps down, and then it's just 2 quick flicks. The first guy that was loading his gun, his head's just like off, not completely off, but just like very open. And the other guy that's struggling with Myth, Careless has to like pick his point for 1 second. So there's like 1 second of hesitation, then he just like stabs directly in and just goes right through the guy's eye socket.
All right. Yeah.
He gives Myth the scruffy like rub behind the ear or whatever and smiles. Good boy. That was very good. And then he shoves the bodies into the water. And is it like it's a gondola, you said? So like not a very substantial boat?
It's the Foghound's boat that you went out into the Deathlands with. It's a pretty substantial boat. Yeah.
Do I believe a rifle shot through the bottom of it would open up a hole that it would eventually sink?
Nah.
No?
No.
Then I guess with the timing being what it is, he just finds whatever he can to climb up out of the boat and back to Rune.
Yeah, the canal side is not like super far away. You could leap back over onto a mooring post, like a Venetian kind of pole, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And are you guys going to try to slip away before the blue coat starts asking questions? Or
yeah, he sheaths his sword and he goes over to Rune and like kind of like hand on upper shoulder type of thing, like we should be going. And he turns back to where the blue coat is and is like, oh my God, they're hurt. And he's like, we should go.
So you're swaying to get away from the blue coat, or are you?
Yeah, I'm doing a shitty sway.
Prowling away. How are you getting away?
Well, we're prowling, but that was a sway. But I think mechanically we'll just go with my, better roll there. That was just being funny, I guess. So
that's fine. Yeah, you can be funny and prowl. That's totally fine.
Okay.
Are we both rolling prowl?
2?
No, it's risky. The risk is getting hung up here. The blue coat isn't going to be like, you're under arrest, right? He's going to question you.
Okay.
So it's risky.
Limited.
You can do a group roll, and both of you get the best result, or you can prowl separately and take your individual outcomes.
Isn't your prowl pretty good too, Anne? Like you're just.
I have 2.
Yeah, it's the same as mine. So I think.
Just do individual?
Sure.
Okay. So
Is it limited,
standard
John?
effect?
For standard?
Standard, yeah. I think you can actually like slip away. He doesn't necessarily like only want to question the two of you. So if you're able to sort of,
she does a better job than I.
You're the one with the sword.
You get held up while. So I think with that roll, you try to slip away, and the blue coat is gesturing past you, and as you turn, another blue coat's coming from the other side of the bridge, and he's holding up his hand, like, just wait right there, sir, wait right there, hang on, and like some people are starting to mill around, and someone's saying under their breath like, it's a Tycherosi, and someone else is like, oh,
sure,
this is probably has something to do with the demons. And so Rune, you got a partial success. You're in a position to slip away from the scene here, but Myth, the cop that's approaching Careless, sees out of the corner of his eye, which is a little strange because Myth is usually really hidden.
He's hurt.
Yeah, he sees Myth is like coming up the canal stairs from where he was on the boat, and the cop sees it. You see it on their face. They're kind of like, what? And they squint into the darkness there, like, what's going on? If you want to, you can just be like, I'm out. But Myth is in a tricky position there, and it looks like the cop's gonna.
I mean, what danger would Myth be in, though?
Really, not in any danger, except like the cop is gonna go over to Myth and do something. He probably can't do anything to hurt Myth, but
right.
The situation will go some way, or you can get involved and like deflect his suspicion or whatever. But you're free to leave on your own right now if you want to. Or not leave. I mean, you could hide or do whatever, but you're free to get away from the cops if you want to.
Okay. I don't know that I want to leave Myth and Careless here, but I don't know what I could do.
You have an opportunity.
If you look at me, he gives you kind of a nod of like, it's okay.
Yeah.
You can interfere in some way so Myth can actually like fully dissipate and vanish or something. If you want to distract the cop, or I don't know, do something like that.
Yeah, is there like anything I could magically fuck with?
There's always like the power, right? There's electrical lights. There's like you can attune to.
Can I roll an attune to like overload a circuit? Is that a thing I can do?
Totally, yeah.
To just like set fire to something or to like blow up one of those circuits and then yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you've done it before.
Okay, but this is without lightning hook though. Can I still do it just with the attune?
Yes. If all you want to do is like cause a transformer or a circuit box on a building to like spark and you could reach out with your mind, attune to it enough to make that happen. You couldn't really do a lot with it, but maybe that'll be enough to draw their attention away. So right,
we'll see how I roll, I guess. Okay, so attune.
I mean, it's not, you're not channeling the power grid.
right. I'm not like in imminent danger. No, okay, so
I think it's controlled. It's just a little bit of, you're just sort of giving it a nudge, right? You're just kind of, meh.
Standard.
Yeah, standard.
extra. Read 6. All about it.
6
Orphanage burns down by 2 corpses.
Oh, the text doesn't show up on mine. That's weird.
Yeah, so there's no complication. He squints and he starts walking towards where he saw Myth's like glowy eyes, and then the building goes and like sparks rain down, and he looks over like, what the? Ugh. And then when he looks back, it's like dark, pitch dark again, and you and Myth are gone. Or around, hidden, or however you want to handle that. You escape his notice.
Yeah, I'm gonna like go and hide, but I'm staying like nearby because I want to see what happens with Careless.
Okay. Should we resolve this here with you, Jeff, or do you want to cut away to someone else first, or how do you want to handle it?
We can just do it real quick.
Yeah. So they're approaching. People are starting to whisper. There's some fairly anti-Tycherosi things being said. And the first guy who's closer to you, when he gets distracted, he gets slowed down. So up from behind you, this guy who's holding his hand up looks like not a rookie, but not a grizzled old veteran either. He approaches. He's got a little bit of a wry smile. You know, you're on your way over to Crow's Foot. You guys don't look like ordinary citizens, just out for an evening stroll. There's been some gunshots. He knows what's going on pretty much, you know, like gangs. Yeah. He's going to give me some story probably. But you see in his face, like he sees your black shark eyes and the whole mood of the city, demons afoot and stuff. Mm-hmm. He starts to be like, okay, you know, enough with the gang stuff. But then he kind of changes gears, and you can see it in his face. He's kind of like, maybe I got to do something here. Everybody's watching. I don't know. How do you want to handle him?
Yeah, I mean, Careless is in his like not quite fight or flight mode, but definitely like I'm in hostile territory. So it's almost like there's a skin tight bandana pulled across the bottom of his face. That's just a smile, like a big smile, but in his eyes you can see like they're kind of, well, you can't really see much because they're black, but they are looking around, and there's a deadness there, and he's ready to bullshit. So he just kind of pulls up and says, "Officer, I assume you saw that we were assailed. Worry not. I have yet again helped the city in doing your duty for you just a little bit. The 2 buffoons that assaulted me are at the bottom of the canal over there, and there is a third one. It looks like he meandered about 15 feet from me right now. I would not like to press charges any further, by the way, as they are dead."
I like that you just walk into these sway rolls, Jeff, and then we're like, do I really want to roll sway?
No, I always let the dice do the talking. Like that's what he says, and it's maybe it's not, it's shit. That's fine.
I think it's great. I love it. I mean, that's what you're doing. You're trying to sway this dude. There is a potentially massive problem with your story here, but we'll let the dice speak.
All right, what do you want it to be?
It's desperate. So you're
sick. You really got to pull my leg for it.
For your resolve there.
Effect?
Limited. I think you can. Oh shit. You can deflect a little bit here. It could be standard, right? Because he doesn't want to do any paperwork and he wants to get on with his night. but the onlookers are like worried, and he feels like I gotta at least take this guy away somewhere. So it looks
John,
like
on this one, I will hear your devil's bargain.
Mm.
Not so confident in my one circle here.
You have 0 sway still, or did you get a point?
I got a 1. I got 1.
Okay. That sounds right.
That's 2 dice, right? Take the highest.
If you have 1 dot in sway.
Oh, it's just 1 dice then.
If you have 1 dot in sway, you'll roll 1 die. Yeah.
Oh shit! It's a straight D6. Sorry, John. No devil's bargain. I like the odds here.
Okay.
Oh, good. It's not all 6s, okay?
It's
If
not.
anything, Careless
It's
is a
not.
pretty shitty
There-
liar, actually.
There
Well,
are
here's the
other
thing.
numbers on those die. Yeah.
Here's the best thing about that. He rolled a 1 on the sway. So if they start dusting up, he's like, well, I guess I'll take your fucking heads off too. That's easy. That's way easier.
I think this is Careless's plan. Like, be bad at lying, lie to everyone, and then when it goes poorly, kill them. It's a pretext for the killing.
I kind of like that a guy that's constantly smiling with black eyes and sharp teeth is pretty bad at lying. Like, I
think
feel like
it's-
even when he's telling the truth or is actually lying, people are just gonna be like, "Well, this is fucked up. I don't believe you at all."
So yeah, you say there was a dust up, and you drop some bodies in the canal, which is an interesting gambit with a cop. To be frank, look, hey, take it easy there, copper. I just killed some guys. Okay, relax.
It was a fair fight. It was fair.
But also, like, as you say that, he pauses a beat, and kind of looks up, and a few of the bystanders kind of wait, and one of them draws their breath, and then everyone waits a beat, and there's no bells, and some of them, one of them says, like, typical lying demon blood, and then someone else says under their breath, but what if he killed them and there's no bells? What if it's, oh my god, it's the massacre? What if it's the massacre? It's him. It could be him. And the cop's just like, oh man, I do not need this. Because it's all over his face. The other cop comes up behind you, and the guy's like, I'm gonna need you to turn around, put your hands behind your back, and he like takes out a pair of manacles.
What tier are they considered?
Blue coats are 3.
So it'd be kind of hard to kill him. Is that what you're saying?
In force, I think if you're just going after this one guy,
Well, there's 2 though, right?
yeah,
So
there's about to be, yeah, I guess that's true. There are technically 2 of them on you. Yeah, they out tier you. They do. You'll do limited effect to them by default, but brutal puts you back to standard.
Oh, just standard.
Yeah, just standard.
So it'd take a couple standard wounds to get him out of here then?
Yeah, you'd have to. It would be a fight. Like, you can tell, like, the normal careless, like, dispatching dudes with aplomb. You would have to actually, like, trade with these guys and have a.
Okay. And Myth is.
We're still here. Yeah, Rune
Yeah.
and I, Myth and I are still both nearby.
Okay.
Are you somewhere where careless can see you, Anne?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
hiding behind some crates or something.
Yeah.
In it, I think there's a moment then, and I'll roll study if you need me to, but I think Careless does assess the situation. Like, he looks around. Is it just the 2 blue coats?
It's the blue coats and, like, maybe 6 bystanders.
Okay.
Some of them look like Crowsfoot citizens. Some of them look like Brightstone people who are a little, upper class.
Then I'm going to attempt a command, and I think as he says that, I look at him, and my smile even creeps up a little bit further, but I narrow my shark eyes at him, and I say, "You're going to go home to your family tonight. You're going to have a wonderful meal, and you're going to wake up tomorrow, and you're going to forget about this. Because if that doesn't happen, well, that means the alternative happened, and the alternative is that I run this sword through you, and then I have to struggle with my friend behind me, and he's going to be a challenge for all of maybe 2 strokes."
Yeah, the bystanders are like, they're like, oh, the upper class people are like, oh my, and one of them just turns and starts walking off.
Yeah.
I'm out. I'm out.
There's the smart one.
the crow's foot people, like one of them goes under his coat. He probably has a gun or something. You know, they're like, oh shit. Command. Well, you're gonna get your desperate roll that you want.
Nice.
Man, what's the effect level here? It can't be great. I mean, you're just one guy. They think they can take you. They don't really know. If they had seen what you did to the Foghounds, your effect would be a lot higher. Man, I think it's limited, honestly.
Okay.
You can push yourself for standard if you want, and like actually
Would
get
standard
rid of
get them actually backing off?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's 2, and we agreed I'm down to a 4. Yeah, I'll go for it. Sure. So desperate, standard, pushing. I still can't track this, so if someone could just, if you can affect it and put it at a 6 or something.
Yep, I can do it for
It's
you.
2 to push yourself, right?
Right.
So no bonus dice, but if I succeed here, it's a standard effect.
Right.
4, partial.
Okay.
Or no, whatever, success, I don't know.
Yeah. Partial, desperate, command.
Maybe one of them backs out, Aaron?
Yeah, I was thinking like it's still
All the crowd leaves.
it could. Well, yeah, I think that probably. Well, let's see. Yeah. I think it does work on one of them and the bystanders. Yeah, that makes sense.
That's badass.
Yeah, the guy who's approaching you, the one that wants to put the manacles on you, he holds his ground. The rest of the bystanders are like, devil blood or no devil blood, I got places to be. Adios. And the one cop, he looks at the other guy, and you see in the moment here, like we see maybe that they have different precinct insignia on their uniforms. Like one guy was coming out of Crowsfoot and one guy was coming from Brightstone, and the Brightstone guy is just like, it seems like you got this under control, and he turns and the Crowsfoot guy with the manacles is just like,
Yeah. Suddenly alone.
shit. Yeah, so people are dispersing, and the guy comes up, and you feel him. He like takes a hold of one of your wrists, and he's like, let's not make this difficult. And he starts to like snap.
Well, he starts to go for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think there was a moment where Careless was enjoying the fact that everyone was walking off, like that was a power play for him, and he's like, yeah, that was awesome. But then the guy's like grabbing his arm behind him, and he like turns, and then I guess I'll just let the dice decide before I get all badass. Maybe I just fall on my butt and fart or something like that. It's skirmish then?
More violence, yeah. It sounds like that's what you're doing. Yeah.
Desperate?
No, I don't think so. I think
Risky?
if you wait for him to put the cuffs on, it's desperate.
No, I'm not waiting.
It's risky. Yeah, he's a fighter. He out tiers you technically. Even it's 1-on-1, so it's not as bad as it would be. But
Not 1-on-1. I'm
Yeah.
waiting.
well, that's
Ready.
true. That's true. You're in the wings.
Uh-huh.
Are you drawing using a weapon on him? Drawing
Yeah.
your sword? Great. With brutal should be great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see where the dice take us then. There's a 6,
There it is.
but only 1.
Not a crit. You
So I
don't.
think it's just like a wound then to him, right? I don't drop him.
Wound, yeah. So what do you do? Tell me. Yeah, like
I
he
think
has
I go
armor
for my sword.
under his blue coat, so that'll factor.
I go for my sword, but instead of like the others where I just flick out and it kind of opens him up, he actually like arm bashes it with whatever weapon he's got, but then I just kind of bludgeon his face with the pommel.
Okay. Yeah, you snap his head back. He staggers backwards, drops the manacles, and out. Pistol comes out. Click. And he. Let's see. What kind of guy is this? He is a blue coat. He should order you to surrender and not just shoot you. But I think he's just gonna shoot you. You're a Tycho Brucey.
Yeah.
You just said you killed some people and you attacked. Yeah,
I just
think
threatened
he
a cop. I think it's totally fair.
Yeah. I think he shoots you. Or that's what he's gonna do. You got a 6.
Roll for it, John, in these here parts.
Yeah, you gotta.
Uh-huh.
I assume you follow up. Anne, are you gonna get involved? Are you gonna like
Yes.
overwhelm this dude?
Yeah.
What do you do?
Whenever my oh yeah, sure. So I like see Careless take a swipe at this guy, and he like goes to draw his gun, and I just look at Myth, and I'm like, all right, playtime then. And I want to compel one of the ghosts from one of the guys we just killed to attack the cop.
Dude.
So,
Okay.
so that's an attune roll, right?
Yeah.
All right, attune.
It's desperate. So ghosts they take
Ooh.
like between 1 and 3 days to leave the body. It's like what you did when Lord Sucre's place when you just instantly like snatched the dude out of his body.
Uh-huh.
And that was super bad and twisted and horrible. I don't know if you remember the details there, but it was like
Oh.
it was wrong. It wasn't a normal ghost. It was like this weird
Yeah,
bad thing that you did, and you're gonna
Thing.
do that again.
it's
Who does bad
fine.
things?
It's fine. It's totally fine.
Okay, so desperate. What effect?
So
Fucking love the Desperates.
I think it's desperate because you want standard effect, right? It would be risky and limited if you wanted to like tease the spirit out, or, take your time, do it properly or something. But you want standard effect.
Immediate.
You want him to just
Yeah.
pop out and go. Yeah. So desperate and standard. And that will
5.
get the ghost out. Okay, you do it with backlash. So
This guy's a baller, dude.
yeah, I think. Well, you can describe how you fucking compel the ghost out of the. I think we see like in the shadows under the bridge. There's a body floating. I guess two technically. What happened? Like what does it look like when you do this? And something backlashes, like the energy hits Rune as you do this. But how do you do it?
Well, what kind of I guess I don't know what kind of backlash I should be.
It's gonna be
RPing.
like what you did at Sucre's place when you ripped the spirit out prematurely.
Mm-hmm.
There was like the energy that's keeping the spirit connected to the body gets when you break that connection, it gets unleashed.
Okay.
So it's like it's not electrical like the normal ghost stuff. It's more like myth and the ritual magic. It's this burning, shadowy stuff.
Do I take harm from it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
Oh, really? On a 5? Wow.
Yeah.
6 or nothing here.
Uh,
On a desperate roll, let me get the page here. On a desperate roll, on a 4/5, you suffer severe harm, or a serious complication, or you have reduced effect. So you do it in exchange for severe harm.
what's
is-
severe?
Level 3.
Level 3?
Yep.
What?
Yep.
For a 5?
Oh.
Yeah,
I thought that was supposed to be a success.
it is a success. You get him out of the body, and he attacks the guy.
Let's flash back to not doing that, John.
But you said also it could be reduced effect, so I could just take a failure and not level 3 harm?
Yeah, it could be reduced effect. I typically decide what the consequences are.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Oh, yeah. Spirit mask. What about my spirit mask?
your spirit mask, yes.
does that help me?
I assume you want to resist the harm. Your spirit mask,
Right. We do that.
it will help you.
Okay.
In fact, it'll be all or it'll resist all the harm. You can roll to not take any harm with your resistance. It won't just
Okay.
not.
Should I do that now?
Right. I forgot. This is how Anne does this phase. She suffers
Please
tremendous.
don't say
peril.
anything.
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, this is the thing about being a whisper. You
Did you roll a
wield-
6?
You wield a lot of
5.
power, and then you
fine.
resist it.
So 1
You take
stress.
stress instead of level 3 harm, and your spirit mask deflects the energy, so it doesn't.
Okay,
doesn't
cool.
You to effect.
So I'm like I can see the like body floating in the river, and you see me like I like reach my hands out to like it looks like if the body were close to me, I would be like physically pulling at it, but I'm like pulling his spirit like out of his body. And it's like not a good process because, like, as you said, they're not supposed to leave the body for like a couple days. So it's like really like tug of war, like struggling to pull this kind of like shadowy figure like out of this body. And as it like kind of reaches that end, that like kind of point that it's gonna snap, it like his spirit like goes up, and you see like a kind of like a flash of light or come like and hit Rune in the chest. And I like stagger backward and like kind of fall down. Or I guess actually you said it hits the spirit mask and like I don't take any harm from this at all. Like no shadow burns at all. Okay, cool. So it like hits the mask and like deflects, but I still like I get like knocked over.
Yeah, I think it like burns the stone of the canal side there. It bounces off the mask and like sears a blackened mark under the stones.
Sweet. Totally worth it.
And then this guy's weird shadow ghost lurches up through the bottom of the bridge, I think, like, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's burning charcoal into the bridge surface, lurches forward and swipes at this blue coat. I'm going to roll some dice for him. Weird shadow ghost attack roll. 5, okay. So,
complication with it.
yeah, it's reduced effect. He doesn't instantly kill the guy, but the blue coat, his head snapped back. He staggers, draws the pistol, cocks it, points it forward, and then this like shadowy flame hand like comes through his body and is like burns his coat. He falls down and like tumbles sideways, taking his coat off as it's burning. Backs himself, pushes back on his heels away from this, his eyes wide, like, okay, no.
You have made a mistake.
Yeah. And then the adrenaline is hitting him, but you can see like his arm is just ruined. He's got this huge burn across his chest, up his neck. He's in real bad shape, but he's in like fight or flight mode. He's just like, do you guys want to get out of here right now or finish the job? You're in position, Careless. You're right there next to him.
Yeah, I gotta finish.
I figured. You don't need to roll. You can. Well, that's not true. He's in enough of a state where he would actually try to shoot you if you came in at him right now.
Okay.
Yeah. He's not giving up. So yeah, you do have to roll skirmish.
Risky?
Yeah.
Or desperate?
It's not desperate. It might be. It could even be controlled here. You got this guy's in a real bad spot.
He's messed up. There's a ghost behind him. There's someone else.
Yeah. I think it's controlled. Like if you come at him and it doesn't go well, you're still in a position to just escape. So yeah, I think it's controlled. It's controlled.
Only a 4.
Bang.
Or so on controlled, when you get that, you can do it with reduced effect, which is in your case that's enough to finish him off, right? Because you're brutal, so you can just take the reduced effect on him.
Then that's what happens, I guess.
Yeah, he's not, because it's controlled. He's not actually able to hurt you back. If you'd actually failed, he would have had a shot at it. But yeah,
I think it's not as cool. Like I do the flick at his throat, and he like reaches up again and stops it a little bit, and then there's this like really awkward. Where I'm like, oh, okay, and then I just kind of press the sword slowly through his weakened arm and into his chest, and it just punctures his lung, and he dies.
Yeah, he sags down and he discharges his gun. He like tries to shoot you, but it just fires into the bridge. And yeah, the light goes out of his eyes and he collapses, and there's like people watching from their windows, and stuff like that. But once again, there's this pullback of the camera and the guy fades and dies there. This ghost stands there just like looking hatred into your eyes. You no longer have to deal with supernatural fear, do you?
No, not with my occult.
Yeah, I think that makes you immune. So this thing is like right in your face, like it looks like this horrible thing. It looks like Myth, but a person. This like shadowy figure with hot coals burning for eyes and inside its mouth. And it's like waiting for Rune, I guess, to tell it what to do. Otherwise, it's just gonna like walk the earth, destroying people on its own. Now that it's freed from its body. So
I'm gonna do this
I'll find it and punch it. I'll find it and punch it.
I'm just gonna do this like once every 2 hours, and then just have like an army of ghosts walking the earth.
Nice.
Yeah, great sparring partners for me.
If you guys leave after a moment, we see the ghost like turn and track whoever he had a score to settle with in life. You know, actually,
Can I know exactly. Is there a way to like get rid of?
Yeah. You can attune and like command him to like go like dissipate and go away.
I want to do that because I don't want you having him going after Margette because we need her.
That is definitely his target. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was like, no, it's not happening. So I need to attune?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm assuming like standard.
It's controlled because you summoned him and compelled him, so you've got that leverage over him, and standard effect. You can't
6.
like instantly destroy him, but cool. You can basically like push him into the ghost field so he dissipates.
Okay.
And
cool.
Is gone for at least several days. Yeah.
I dragged the cop's body over to the canal. I know that it's not obviously going to do that much, but I still just dump it in there and then hustle off.
All right. Yeah, there's always eyes watching. There's always people around, but there's this kind of dead space now on the bridge. It's quiet. There aren't any boats. It's just the two of you. The bodies splash in the water. You kind of glance around and you see someone like looking out from behind a shutter on the second floor of a building, and they poke their head back when you look, and the two of you can just stroll on into Crowsfoot unmolested. And there's no one on the street on the other side of the bridge. People are just like, no. None of that. All the stuff in the papers is true. There's demon people and weird spirits happening. Oh my god. Yeah.
Well, Rune, it's nice when the job comes to you, isn't it?
Well, that was certainly some of them.
Oh,
I guess we should go. I don't know. Perhaps we should go talk to Margette.
It'll be fun. Let's go.
Maybe we should cut to Aldo. We haven't seen him in a little.
I think I can wait.
You want to wait?
He seems like she's in serious critical condition, and I to take care of that.
Fair enough. Catabie waking up is maybe okay.
I'm fine. I'm just sitting at home. I'm good.
Okay. You mean you didn't have any like feelings, towards your group mates?
Well,
it's
I
okay.
have a point in a tune now, so I might have felt like something like twinge, like.
That is totally a thing. I mean, as like sort of outside the fiction here as players, if we want to, like having just for more interaction, like having Miss Catabie wake up at Salia's and with Aldo there was totally fine. If we want to like have a little more involvement, it would make perfect sense for her when she doesn't come back for you to go looking for her and find her there. If you want to be involved in the scene, that's totally fine. If you don't, then that's fine too. But enough time has passed where that's reasonable. And then we can do your time.
I'm not going to join, and you'll understand why when it eventually does come back to me.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
So Wheat, I think you come to as Leech, not the animal, but the doctor. This woman about Salia's age, a little older, maybe like in her mid-60s. Kind of a Katharine Hepburn looking type. She's plunging this huge needle into your wound. You're on Salia's couch, and she's finishing the last injection and ready to bind you up.
I gotta stab her 3 times?
That's
no,
right.
just once.
You don't know the Leech, but Salia must have called her. Salia's sitting on the other couch.
I don't know this person.
The person attending to you, no.
I think I would get up with like concern. As much as I can actually move, but maybe like what? Who are you? What? Maybe I try to find my bearings because I have no idea what happened.
Yeah, you see you're in one of Salia's houses. Her place in Six Towers here. Not quite as nice as some of the others. There's sheets over the furniture, and over the paintings. It's not abandoned exactly, but it looks like a place she doesn't use all that often. And she's sitting on the couch nearby, and she says, "Oh, just it's all right, dear. It's all right." And there's a tea set there steaming. Why don't you have a nice cup? You'll feel better.
I probably like grasp my wound and I'm like, some bastard stabbed me.
Yes, indeed. And just almost outside my doorstep, in fact. We can't have this sort of thing in this neighborhood. She's sort of joking.
And I mean, like, at this point, everything I've gone through, like, could I have a conversation with her, or is it like?
Yeah. You didn't actually like suffer the horrible wound. It was a close thing. Like you feel this. Oh man, that could have taken me out.
I got grazed and then I got stabbed. So like, it's like I had a really crazy night.
You had a crazy night, but
feeling the after effect. Okay.
You're actually okay. Considering what happened, you're not at death's door or anything.
I think I would say, like, I was coming to see you. These aren't your welcoming party, is it?
No, we know who those people were, I think. Something to do with your friend Rune, I believe, and Margette, the Foghounds.
You mean it wasn't the Foghounds, but associated with them?
No, it was them. Did she not tell you? Miss Cadby, I thought you were privy to everyone's secrets.
But I'm also like trying to be like, all I know is that there was a fucking boat and the guy, so like I'm just putting it so
yeah.
Yes, of course I knew about it. What are you? Of course. But did what? Like, you saved me. What happened?
I have friends here, eyes and ears. They look out for me and my friends. They know you're one of my friends, so they came running. Said that you'd been accosted on the canal side. I should have sent someone to meet you. I should have seen this coming. It's my fault, really. You didn't have to come,
I did. I mean, we might have bigger problems to deal with, but there's some unresolved business, and maybe at this point, like, is the leech still in the room?
It depends on the vibe you're putting out. If
I think, like, at this point, I like kind of my eyeballs while I'm talking to Salia like shift to the leech, like, hey, I'm not comfortable having this conversation with a person here.
She's friends with Salia and she's very used to this kind of thing. So as soon as that's the tone, like she's packing her stuff and leaving.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. When she's gone, I say, what do you know about Grace?
Well, some people think that she's missing, but we know better than that, don't we?
I think there are people privy to her status. My concern is you. I heard more than one rumbling that perhaps you are being targeted, or perhaps they think you are behind it.
Yes. Well, she looks around at this like somewhat unusual place that she's in right now. She says, yes, I had the same feeling. I thought it best to take some precautions. And she glances significantly over her shoulder, and there's a doorway there's like a dining room with a table with a big tarp over it. There's a doorway to a kitchen with an inset frosted glass window in the door. There's a light burning in the kitchen, and as the flames flicker, you see the shadows of like large men milling around in the kitchen.
Sure. So I think my next question is pretty straightforward. So you're not mad?
Mad, darling. You've opened up entirely new and exciting opportunities for me. Why would I be mad?
Well, that's what I'd hope you say, but I also can't help but feeling like maybe the last word brought down some heat. I know that it's not exactly something you're interested in carrying in your bags.
I find when the heat comes for you, it's always best to make sure that it lands on someone else, don't you?
Well, that's why I wanted to talk to you. If there is any heat, perhaps we can cool things off.
If you have any thoughts about where we might direct this negative attention, perhaps to our mutual benefit, I'm all ears.
Well, not to state the obvious, but seems to me like whatever happened tonight, I'm assuming happened to the rest of my crew. Certainly, that's potential fire to start. There's some people going around murdering and assassinating innocent folks. Maybe there's a connection that can be made.
Perhaps. Not entirely outside the wheelhouse of Deathland smugglers to engage in some unsavory practices.
Of course, I'm all ears, but it seems to take what's going on and try to connect it would be the smartest thing. But I'm sure maybe you've heard some things since Grace's departure.
Indeed. There's always something new to be heard, new to be learned.
Lots of people say perhaps you're behind it, but certainly there's got to be someone else. And if you don't know, then maybe I can go looking. But I can't imagine you're only Grace's only enemy.
No, certainly not. Just perhaps her most capable enemy. But you have intrigued me, Catterby. I think perhaps there is a way to use this new problem you've acquired with the Foghounds. Yes. They were the ones who went with you out to Lord Suker's place, yes?
They were? I thought we were friends, in fact. Didn't read that one well.
I don't think they have anything against you personally.
Well, perhaps.
I don't want to presume, but it would make things much simpler if we could simply hand over Rune to them. I think that would solve the problem.
I think it was like actually like this moment where it's not even consideration, but it's sort of like inside is like, dude, really? And then finally something comes out where it's like, Solly, you have people you know, people you rely on. I know that our group might be fresh, it might be new, but this group appreciates my skills, have gotten me out of bad situations, And frankly, they even forgave me after I fucked them. I think what you're asking would be the equivalent if someone came to you and asked you to hand me over. And maybe I'm wrong and I've misread situations in plenty of hands before. But I'd like to think that that'd be something that you'd see as, well, not advantageous to your position. So, if I'm to be blunt, to give you a rune wouldn't be advantageous to my position.
So, Marcus, maybe before we take our break here, we should discuss some potential thing here. So you say she's like she didn't really know, exactly the relationship there. She speculated maybe she was fishing for information about how you felt about Rune and the crew, and she's trying to get an answer from you. You're being truthful, so I think she can tell that. But you kind of put a question to her in a way, like you didn't ask the question, but you basically said like you wouldn't
Right.
me that way, right? And she reacts to that. You can study her to see if that's a truthful reaction.
Okay.
Also, we discussed you have an unspent advance, and you were considering taking, like, looking into a mirror, which makes it possible for you to always know when someone's lying to you.
That's correct.
The way you're getting that ability is yet to be revealed.
Yes.
But given the flashback nature of this game, that's something that we could show at a later date. If you want to have the ability already, the origin of the ability can wait for a later reveal if we want to.
Well, this is kind of exactly why I wanted to get that ability.
I thought it might be. That's why I brought it up.
So I like that idea. Yeah, I mean, I really, considering what you've introduced to the story, I think there's something that makes a lot of sense there. But yeah, I would absolutely be down to that.
Okay, so we'll save the reveal of how Miss Cataby has this newfound lie detector, and we'll reveal that at a later date. But you do have it.
Okay.
So
yeah. It's simply like looking into a mirror, and the power is you can always tell when someone is lying to you.
Mm-hmm. So you said to her, what you're asking of me is as if somebody asked you to hand me over.
Right.
And her reaction is, her surface reaction is, she doesn't say anything. She just makes a little face. But her surface reaction is, oh, don't be ridiculous. But what's actually behind that, now that you have this ability, she's a little disappointed in you. Like, she's not lying in the sense that, oh, she would totally say.
Right.
You can sense that she's like, oh, I thought you were more like me. Like everyone is an asset once you get down to it.
You know what? If I feel that, I'm going to react to it.
Okay.
And I'm going to say, oh, I see. Power of one. Well, let's just say that I aspire for bigger and better things. And, well, I am the best at what I do. There's certain things that I cannot account for, whether that be brawn or whether that be perfection of the mystic arts, or whether that just be even bigger brawn. The fact of the matter is, you've used me to get a job done, and this is my way of getting jobs done. And while I understand you're obviously disappointed, I'm a little disappointed in you that you don't see the potential. But it's okay, because we'll show you.
You can tell that she is pretty shocked that you're having this read on her that you've never had before. Because she thinks she's very slick. And when you have that reaction, her eyes go kind of wide, and she's just like a little worried, I guess, kind of like.
I think if I see that, then the instant pivot is like, oh, but we've known each other for so long, and I just like kind of like play it off then.
Nice.
As like, I just, what do you expect? We're friends.
Yeah, I think that resets, right? Like, she thought that her status was higher in that moment when she was like, oh, and then you like turn the tables on her, kind of, and she's like, oh no, maybe I need to be worried, and then you kind of save it, right? So you go from this rocky position back to this, like, okay, yeah, I get it. We understand each other better. We don't need to worry about each other, but we know each other a little more than we did. That's great. Wow. That was a complex little turn of friend to almost enemy to friend. I like that. That was good.
We don't need a new rival, so that's good.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you've got enough.
Maybe the conversation ends with like, don't suppose you're going to send me on my way tonight. Can I assume this cot is mine?
She says, no, definitely not. I have a bed for you, Vana.
Great. If you don't mind, I think I'm going to turn in and, well, I need to, maybe you can help me find out what happened to.
Yes, I'll have someone check on them for you. Shall I ask them to come here?
Perhaps. I mean, you seem to know, be abreast of our situation. I think we need to regroup. Assuming I'm correct, and everyone else had a little present waiting for them as well.
I'll do what I can. You should rest up.
And I do.
All right, let's take our break. We'll be back with our final hour of Roleplay Blades.
Yes.
You guys in just a bit.